thing to talk about your destiny. It's one thing to talk about your destiny. It's one thing to dream about your destiny. It's one thing to look at your destiny. But it's another thing. It is another thing to make the decisions, to wake up when you know you're supposed to wake up. Listen to what I'm telling you. To write when you don't feel like writing that paper. To say no to that party that you know is not going to help you to make your dreams become a reality. Listen to me. No to sleep when you should be working out. Saying no to quitting when you still got 100 more shots to make. Saying no when your body's saying don't stop, but you put in 50 more push-ups. You can't just talk about it. You gotta be about it.
To be able to go from the bottom, you know, literally in every sense of the word, to you know, now be here, you know, it's a blessing, you know, but once again, it's just a stepping stone. You know, I'm nowhere near where I want to be. You know, it's a lot of things that I want to do in my career and where I want to go, you know. So for me, it's just, you know, another step in, you know, a part of my journey. And, you know, my journey is not complete, you know, and I'm fortunate to be able to do some more years with the Ravens, you know, hopefully end it all here, you know, with this organization.
We head to Owings Mills, where we find Ravens linebacker Jameel McClain. And Jameel, thanks for joining us. When people talk, Jameel, about Ravens linebackers, they talk about, obviously, Ray Lewis, they talk about Terrell Suggs, but we're starting to now talk a little bit more about Jameel McClain.
Coach Ron Cohen, coaching at George Washington High School for 27 years, Philadelphia School District employee as a coach and teacher for 47 years. The interesting about Jameel, if we'd have lined up all the players I've coached in 27 years, that's a lot of kids, and lined them up, he certainly wouldn't have been one of the kids I'm going to say, oh, he's going to be in the NFL.
It is blocked for a safety by Jameel McClain, a native of Philadelphia.
Talent-wise, he was a good talent. I wouldn't say he had great talent. But there's two things that I have to comment about Jameel. Number one, I've never, ever, even to this day, had a player work harder than Jameel.
Message is spiriting into the game. That big return, which was 88 miles per hour, setting up the break point. Get used to this. It's going to be a crusade for Radomska to hold serve this afternoon.
He was the last one to come out of the weight room. I used to have to kick him out. I'd say, Jameel, don't you have a life? I mean, at 7 o'clock at night, I'd have to, say, hey, well, start turning the lights out.
There you go. That's it. That's it. Come on. Break it. There you go. Right up. Come on. Big one, big one. Come on. Wait. That's that. Get on your toes and break that.
Get on toes?
Yeah. Let those hips come through it. Get tall, big one. Yeah, there you go, like that. That was a perfect one right there. Using those hips. Good. Just like that. See, we're gonna crack it. We're gonna break it. There you go, come on.
I knew whatever he was going to do, whether it was NFL, a lawyer, doctor, whatever he wanted to do, he was going to be successful because nobody was going to outwork him.
You were the only rookie, a free agent, who made the team back in 2008 when John Harbaugh took over the Ravens, and you basically played in every game, and then you won out a starting role. You played next to Ray Lewis in the middle of that 3-4 defense. How has this regime taken to you, and how have you been so persistent to be so strong yet so unheralded?
I never dreamed of this. You know what I mean? This life came to me. I never dreamed of being where I'm at, you know, in the NFL or that thing. What I always dreamed of was being better than what I was thought of being. I always dreamed of being better what people expected me to be or what they thought I was going to be. So proving them wrong was my life.
You have a great story. I know growing up, you didn't have it particularly great in Philadelphia, and you spent some time in the Salvation Army shelters, but now you're kind of turning things around full circle.
You know, if I grew up with a silver spoon in my mouth, you know, I probably wouldn't be the same person. You know, I probably wouldn't know what struggle was. I probably wouldn't know what the value of $1 is. You know, I know what it is. I know what $1 can do. $2 can do. It was a time when I was living off of $1 hoagies and quarter sodas and a bag of chips, and that was my meal for the day. My relationship with my parents was different. You know, me and my mother, you know, we had an interesting relationship. You know, I wouldn't call it the ideal relationship for, you know, a mother-son type of situation. You know, she did her best, you know, at her points, you know, but I mean, originally it wasn't ideal. You know, nothing against her. You know, my father, he was incarcerated the majority of my life. I mean, I believe he got out when I was 18, you know, and by then he was a stranger.
Pennsylvania is tops on a new list, but no one is celebrating this. In 2009, the Commonwealth had the 3rd highest rate of African-American homicides in the nation. There were 388 African-American homicide victims, 240 of those in Philadelphia.
One day driving him home, I said, well, you know, go home early one day and go hang with your buddies and all. And he looked me in the eye and said, Coach, all the friends that I have are either in jail or dead. And that meant something to me. I got to understand where he was coming from.
You know, growing up as a kid, you don't know a lot of things is bad. You know, when you in it, you don't know what struggle is or what the things are around you. You know, for me, it was just life. You know, but when I got a chance to step out of it, I seen that, you know, those were some different circumstances. It's not something that everyone has to go through, but it built me. It made me who I was. It showed me what struggle was. It showed me what progress is, or what it looks like for someone not to have progress. You know, so for me, North Philly was the best thing that could have ever happened to me.
We are proud to be where we're from because it taught us how to be tough. It taught us life at a young age, almost like you would do if you were in a tribe somewhere. It would be the same thing there. The moment you start to be aware of what's going on, you start to develop. No matter what happens going on around you, things still need to be done. And I think it shaped Jameel because no matter what was going on around him, Jameel still got done what needed to get done.
Jameel McClain, the rookie out of Syracuse, comes through, blocks Sam Rocca's punt. It goes through the end zone for a safety. The Ravens lead 12-7.
Well, and Considine right here, the personal protector, never looks to the right. Jameel McClain.
He was undrafted, but they signed him as a free agent because they saw something in him, and he fit into the right system. If he would have gone to another pro team, he might not have fit in that system. So his destiny, I think, was set that day by not being drafted.
Intercepted. Touchdown.
Maybe that's why.
That's why. What I say. Jameel McClain.
It was kind of a blessing because now you really start to understand the game. Like, you know, now he has a choice on where he go rather than just being pushed into a situation and then forced to adapt, which I felt like it didn't matter where he went. You know, if Alaska had a team and they wanted Jameel to start, as they're starting, Jameel was going to be the best. He was still going to be the best but one of the best linebackers in the league. And that's just how Jameel was, man.
Well, you're going to see McClain, number 53. He's going to, again, be reading the quarterback's eyes. Kruger comes off the corner. We get a little pressure. And We don't see McClain. There's congestion in the pocket, but you've got to see throws.
People said you can't play football at the highest level. You can't compete in college. Okay, I can't do it. So I did it at the highest level and then worked my way up in everything. So in my life, it really was based off of being successful and proving people wrong. You know, because nobody ever believes. Nobody, but that's everybody's story. There's always something that they doubt against you. I mean, they doubt LeBron in a way. You know, they doubted something that Jordan had within him. You know, they doubt the little kid that want to make varsity. They doubt everybody. But you got to, and what I've been able to do is take that energy and be able to make who I am.
Good, hips up. Go all the way down. There we go.
Blue collar, that's what he is. Grab your lunch pail, get up, get ready to go put work in. You know, that's who he is. That's all he knows. You know, he's not a finesse guy. You know what I mean? He's from North Philly. He's from the bottom of the bottom. Every single day, you know what you're going to get from him. You know, you're not going to be surprised. You're going to get a hard 10, 12, 14, 16, 18-hour hard day at work with him every single day. That's just plain and simple, clear, cut and dry. He did not want to be a failure. You know, failure was not an option for him. So he was going to do whatever it took, as long as it was legally right, ethically and morally right, to succeed.
I done came up.
In the Salvation Army. You know, I went to Syracuse and was about to quit and not be on the team no more, you know, because of my attitude as a kid. You know, I worked up for the Baltimore Ravens, you know, an undrafted free agent, you know, to get to where I'm at now. You know, so how was I able to keep pushing through all of that? It was fear. It's plain and simple for me. It was fear. But not fear of what other people thought, you know, not fear of, you know, someone saying that, you know, yeah, you know, he was right. You know, it's not that. It was a fear of my own expectations.
These kids, they're training in the same weight room that Jameel trained in. They're walking in the same locker room that Jameel put his helmet on. In fact, we probably have the same uniforms or the same helmets that Jameel wore. The key thing is it shows these kids, meaning Philadelphia kids, that they can get out. It's a possibility, but it takes hard work. It takes the work in the classroom because you can't just do it on the football field.
That man really wanted it. You know, not just football. He wants to be great in life, and still to this day. I mean, he's a competitive guy, you know, coming from North Philadelphia, man, to the position that he's in right now. I mean, that's like a dream come true for a lot of people. That's the American dream right there. But the beautiful thing about him is he's not done yet. You know what I mean? This dude has a ton of other plans and goals to achieve and obtain.
Billy Street's undrafted free agent. You get this contract now. What's the first thing you do financially?
The first thing I do financially, I'm going to put this money in a sneaker box. No, man. I'm going to put it in a bank, man, invest it, man. I'm trying to secure my future, you know, trying to take care of my family and generations behind me, you know, and this is just a small stepping stone, you know. It's not where it needs to be, but, you know, I'll get there. But what am I going to do? I'm going to spend it right. I mean, I'm not going to make it rain.